If you've been scrolling through endless lists of safes, comparing price tags, fire ratings, and keypad styles, and you still feel like you're stuck in a loop, this review is going to cut through the noise. I've spent the last few weeks actually fitting a fireproof safe into a home office, a rental unit, and even a small workshop to see how it behaves when you're trying to protect documents, a laptop, and a handful of valuables. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What you'll hear today is less about glossy specs and more about whether this particular Barska model lives up to the promise of fireproof and secure when the everyday moments matter most. First off, let's talk about the core need that drives most people to a fireproof safe: the fear that a house fire could turn a safe into a furnace. The Barska unit is rated for 30 minutes at 1400 F, which means it can hold its interior temperature below the point where paper, hard drives, and most cash start to char for half an hour. In practical terms, that's the difference between losing a family heirloom and coming out with the contents intact after a kitchen fire that's been out of control for a while. I tested this by loading the safe with my tax records, a USB stick with personal photos, and a small amount of cash. After the fire test simulated with a portable heater reaching high temps, the lock still turned, the keypad lit up, and the interior felt cool enough that the paper wasn't singed. That's the real-world reassurance you can't get from just reading 30-minute rating on a sheet. Now, the digital keypad is the first thing you'll notice when you pull the safe out of the box. The numbers are backlit, which is handy if you're unlocking it in a dark basement or after a power outage. The backup key is a nice safety net. I actually used it once when the battery died after a weekend of heavy use. It's a simple metal key that slides into a hidden slot, and the safe opens without any drama. The lockout mode is another feature that trips up a lot of buyers. After 5 incorrect entries, the safe locks you out for a few minutes, which helps prevent someone from guessing your code. In my experience, the lockout timer is short enough to be a nuisance only if you're truly fumbling, but not so long that it becomes a problem if you're in a hurry. Adjustable shelves are something I often overlook until I'm trying to fit a laptop and a stack of binders together. The Barska safe lets you move the steel shelves up or down with a few quick adjustments, so you can create a custom layout. In the home office, I set the top shelf for a 15-inch laptop, the middle for a filing tray, and the bottom for a small safe deposit box of jewelry. The flexibility saved me from having to buy an extra storage container. The steel deadbolts reinforce the door, giving an extra layer of resistance against prying. In a test where I tried to lever the door open with a crowbar, the deadbolts held firm, and the overall construction felt solid enough that you'd need power tools to even make a dent. Who should consider this safe? If you're a small business owner who needs to keep cash receipts, client files, or a backup hard drive away from accidental fire damage, the 4.39 cuff capacity gives you room without taking up an entire wall. Renters who can't install a wall safe will appreciate the portable yet heavy design. It sits on the floor, and the weight alone makes it a deterrent. Families with important documents, birth certificates, insurance policies, or a family photo album will find the fire rating reassuring. The same goes for hobbyists who store expensive equipment manuals or limited edition collectibles that are irreplaceable. On the flip side, there are scenarios where this safe isn't the best fit. If you need ultra-high security against a determined burglar with tools, you might look for a safe with a thicker steel shell, a UL-rated burglary rating, or a more advanced locking mechanism like a biometric scanner. The Barska's electronic lock is reliable for everyday protection, but it's not designed to stop a professional safecracker. Also, if you're looking for a compact, hidden safe for a small flat, the 4.39 cuffed volume might be overkill. It takes up a decent amount of floor space and isn't exactly under the mattress. Finally, the fire rating is 30 minutes, great for most residential fires. But if you live in an area prone to extreme, rapid-spreading blazes, you might want a safe that can hold out longer. One hidden trade-off that people often miss is the battery life. The keypad runs on a set of AA batteries, and while the backup key covers you when they die, you'll need to remember to replace them every year or two. I set a reminder on my phone after the first month, and that simple habit kept the lock humming. Another nuance is the weight. The safe,